In today's video, I'm going to show you how I built a Canopy bed frame for only $137. So if you want to build a Canopy bed on a budget, this is the video for you. So to start things off, let's go through the materials that I used to make this Canopy bed frame. We're going to use 4 4x4x8s, 4 1x4x8s, 2 1x8x8s, and 7 2x6x8s. We'll also be using some 5-inch lag screws. My buddy Nick, who you will see make a cameo later on in this video, approached me and asked if I could make his sister a Canopy bed frame. She was looking for a simple, budget-friendly Canopy design for this bed frame. So I ended up using some construction lumber made out of pine, because at the time of making this video, that was going to give her the best bang for her buck. So to start off this build, we're going to make our rough cuts before we move on to cleaning up each piece. This is construction lumber, so it is going to take a little bit more to make this wood look as good as we can. Regardless of the wood that you use, like any other project, the more time you put into it, the better it's going to look. There's plenty of different ways you can go about making a piece of wood look good. Most of the time that involves planing, sanding, painting, finishing, and really when you combine all of those, you're going to have a really good piece of wood no matter what it started off as. With a little bit of effort, you will be really happy with how this lumber actually cleans up. I've made a handful of bed frames throughout the years, but I've never actually made a Canopy bed frame. So after scouring the internet, I was able to come up with a very simple yet pleasing design for this Canopy bed frame. It was actually kind of fun when I was doing my research for this bed frame, because my buddy's sister basically gave me free rein when I was coming up with this bed frame design. Which is always fun when your client trusts you enough to come up with a design that they're going to enjoy for years to come. So with all the rough cuts made, before we move on to the planer, we're going to take a minute to spray paint all of the lag screws black. I chose to use black because it's got a good clean contrasting color against the light color of the pine lumber we're using. So if you've been around for a little while, you probably have noticed that I like to use black on any of the metal materials that we use in any of our builds. I'm very excited about an upcoming project that required a very pristine and polished finish for a very well-known superhero, who is also a very big fan of black. Hint, hint. So I jumped over to the planer for our first step of cleanup, and we hit a snag pretty quick into this process. The dust collector was full. I made this dust collector a few years back where I made my own thin baffle that would separate the big chips from all the fine dust from any dust collection. I would say 60% of the time, it works every time. If you're interested in knowing how a thin baffle is made, make sure you let me know. So making a cameo today is my cameraman Nick. He's jumping in to make this planing process much smoother and faster. So we don't always dress like Mario and Luigi, but this build happened to fall on March 10th, which is Mario Day. So we thought we'd show our appreciation for one of the most iconic video games and video game characters of all time. So if you're not super familiar with pine is a softwood, so it's not typically used for furniture. Pine is typically used for more rough framing and stuff that's going to be covered in the end. So it does take a little bit more time and effort if you want to clean it up and use it for a furniture piece. So that's why when we move over to the table saw, we're going to swap out this blade for a more aggressive cutting saw blade. If you try and use a fine-tooth blade when cutting pine on the table saw, it tends to build up a lot of resin, which creates a lot of friction, which makes it so it's real difficult to get a nice clean cut. So you want a more aggressive cutting saw blade that's going to cut easy and make nice clean cuts on your pine. After swapping the blade out, we're going to move on to making one nice clean cut on each piece for the bed frame. This table saw has a 68-inch limit on its sliding table capacity. So I had to bust out my trusty track saw to square up one edge on the longer pieces of this bed frame. So as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, this is a bed frame for a twin size bed. So all of these measurements are going to be dependent on the bed size that you have for yourself. So after a quick swap over to a dado blade, we're going to make a quick dado on the head and footboards for this bed frame. I decided to use dados on the head and footboard of this bed frame because it's an easy way to attach the panels without any fasteners. And I'm a big fan of making my projects easier whenever possible. And if you are as well, give this video a thumbs up. To make the headboard panel of this bed frame, we had to glue our 1x8s together. And to do that, I decided to use a biscuit joiner for proper alignment of each of these pieces. There are a lot of different ways to ensure proper alignment when you're gluing up any piece. I just choose to use a biscuit joiner because it's real easy and it's something that I'm used to using. So if you haven't noticed by now, I like to make any of these things as easy as possible. After all the biscuits have been cut, I'm going to grab my DIY glue up stands and add some glue, add some biscuits, and clamp these pieces together. These stands are another super easy DIY project you can do yourself. All you need is a couple 2x4s, a piece of PVC, and you're pretty much set to go. With the headboard all glued and clamped together, we're going to take it aside and let it sit and dry for the rest of the day. With the headboard complete, I moved on to the footboard and did pretty much exactly the same thing. With the head and footboard complete, we're going to move on to making a jig for a cutout for the top rails of this bed frame. The jig is going to allow me to make consistent cuts on each post for this bed frame. Most of the woodworking projects that I take on do involve a lot of custom jigs and rigs, so you can have consistent cuts throughout the entire project. So this is just another jig for the books. And no jig is finished without a coat of paste wax to ensure a nice, smooth operation when using any jig. It's always exciting when the jig works out the way it was intended, especially when it's the first time. So with the jig working as intended, I went ahead and made 2 cuts on each post for this bed frame. So after using the 1/2-inch template bit on the router, it leaves a rounded corner on the bottom of each cut. So I'm going to take my chisel, square off that corner so that the pieces fit nice and snug. So with the main panel of the headboard all finished drying, we're going to go ahead and add the top and bottom rails to the headboard. To do that, we're just going to add some glue to the dado, add some clamps, squeeze it tight, and let it dry for a day. I'm pleasantly surprised with how this pine is gluing together. It's definitely going to take a little bit of fine tuning later, but it is going together really well. So after a day of letting the glue dry, we're going to head back to the table saw where we're going to cut the head and footboards to their final lengths. After the table saw, we moved over to the chop saw where we cut all the rails for this bed frame to their final length as well. With all the pieces cut to length, we're going to move on to using a portable drill press to ensure all the pilot holes for our lag screws are perfectly straight. This portable drill press has seen better days. So if you have any recommendations for a good portable drill press, I'm all ears. But for real, let me know, because I'm looking for a new one.
All right, quick math, Nick. 3 1/8 minus 1 1/2 inch. 5/8. Yeah, that's right.
Woodworking involves a lot of math, a lot of numbers, and a lot of talking to yourself sometimes. With all the holes drilled, it came time to assemble everything. So I put the head and footboards together, and now we're going to add our rails in between to see this canopy bed come to life. So with the 2 ends of the bed built, I'm going to stand them up. To attach the 2 ends of the bed together, I made some spacers to make sure that the side rails are at a uniform height from front to back.
Don't use the big one very often.
This project was a little bigger than most of my clamps, so I had to dust off the big clamps, and they worked like a charm. So now it really just kind of comes down to drilling the holes and putting the whole thing together. I'm kind of curious to know if any of you guys would be interested in any plans for any of the builds that we do in these videos. I know for myself, I can pretty much pick up a build just by watching the video, but it is nice to have a blueprint every once in a while. So again, if that's something that you guys would want, make sure you let me know, because I would love to make your life easier. So what makes this a canopy bed frame is the top rails that wrap all the way around the bed frame. These rails are meant to hold a curtain that's going to enclose you in your luxurious new bed space, giving you the privacy that you deserve. Well, dang, I'm starting to sell myself on one of these canopy bed frames. With the main frame complete, we're going to move on to attaching the pieces that will actually hold the bed itself. I made a half-lap joint in the center that's going to hold a center rail that's going to extend from the front to the back of the bed. This is going to give the bed the support it needs to keep the bed from falling to the floor. And no bed frame is complete without the final piece, the piece that actually holds your bed up. And in this case, it's just a 1/2-inch piece of plywood. Why did I bring out the chalk line? Why am I using this cordless circular saw? This is a job for the track saw. I must have just been really tired that day if I didn't want to bring out the track saw. But at the end of the day, cordless circular saw, track saw, they both do the same thing.
Plop our mattress on, call it a day.
With the whole bed frame complete, we're going to move on to applying a coat of shellac for the finish. Shellac tends to bring out the color in most woods, so I was kind of hoping it would make this pine pop a little bit more. And it helped out a little bit, yeah. So if you guys enjoyed that video, check out the one linked on screen now. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.